I spent $213 across 6 weeks to get one customer, and I'm going to show you what happened. I ran a Google Ads campaign for Artsy Pets in order to drive more traffic over to my website to hopefully drive up revenue. Now, I've never done anything like a Google Ads campaign before. My background is data engineering and data science, so this was all super new to me, and immediately starting to set that up, everything felt overwhelming. There are so many component pieces to a Google Ads campaign, and every single one feels like something you could go and get your expertise in. Now, I'm trying to start something from scratch, so that left me in a position of how much do I focus on each individual piece. There were things like bidding, keywords, copy, all these things that I had no clue what they were, and I was just clodding my way through all of it. Now, the old me would have wanted to do a deep dive for every single component piece of a Google ad campaign. As I get a little more experience under my belt, I now start to recognize that maybe that's unrealistic and I should just get the thing done. So it's basically the difference between good is good enough and perfectionism. So I grabbed those results and I'm going to share them with you now. So let's start with the Google Ads. This is a screenshot directly from my account for that campaign. And you can see that 210 clicks, about almost 5,000 impressions, $1 per click, and it cost $213. And that felt good, to be honest. As the results were coming in, I thought, cool, people are coming to the website, people are clicking on the ads that I created. It's somehow resonating with people. I'm doing something right. I might not be getting an A+, but I'm definitely not bombing the test either. But with the ad, the whole point of an ad is to drive up revenue, in my case. So if I'm trying to drive up revenue, that means I want someone to click on the ad, go to my website, and make a purchase. This felt like I was starting to do that by getting somebody over to the website, but I have plausible to track my web analytics for Artsy Pets, and that tells a different story, and we can take a look at that. So these are the results for the web analytics itself through Plausible. And you can see that the number of visitors more or less corresponds. It's like a difference of 2, so who really cares? But there's an 80% bounce rate, and that 80% bounce rate means someone is coming to my website, landing on the page that my ad is pointing to, and then never visiting another page, which isn't very good. Because if you think about e-commerce, you're almost never going to make a purchase by visiting one page and never going anywhere else. They're landing on a shop, never clicking add to cart or going through a checkout experience. And that's what stood out a lot for that bounce rate for me. It's not great, but whatever, it happens. Also, the visit duration is insanely low. So across those 208 people, they're spending 37 seconds on my website. And the only time that someone stuck around was the one order that got placed. So I mentioned at the top, I only got one customer. That person spent like $50 on an order. So the return on my ad campaign is abysmal at best. I spent $213 to make $50 in revenue, never mind profit and the operational costs that I had to spend on that order. But there's some light at the end of the tunnel here. People did click things, people did come to a website, and at least one person actually made a purchase. If that was 0, I think I'd be way more crushed than I was. Not that one's that much better, but still it's not 0, and that feels like a bit of a win. So with those results in mind, the next question becomes, what do I do? I could optimize the Google Ads campaign. Because I don't know that much, and this was my first one, I'm sure there's all kinds of shit that I'm doing wrong and that I could be doing better. But there's something weird about that thought too. Because who's to say that Google Ads is the right platform to be using? The reason I say that is Artsy Pets is very, very visual. It's custom portraits, and obviously portraits are visual by nature. So it seems to be a little bit difficult to have an expectation of Google Ads, which is primarily text-based copy and search intent, to marry that to someone wanting to see the visual result of their pet in a portrait. There's something that just didn't really feel right. It seemed like an uphill battle to take copy-based content and then try to marry it to my visual-based product. So what do? Pivot. I pivot over from Google Ads over to Meta Ads, because with Meta, I can basically set up ads for Facebook and Instagram, and those are way better for visuals. That's seeming to be a better fit for the kind of product that I have. Only time will tell. I have already set up the ad campaign, and very much like Google Ads, I have no clue what I'm doing with that. And I'm sure my Google Ads, or rather my Meta Ads campaign, is filled with inefficiencies, filled with beginner errors, but at least the ads are running. And now I'm building up this data set to figure out, okay, how is this tracking with people? There's impressions, so people are seeing it. Is anybody clicking on it? Great. But of the people who are clicking on it, is that a waste of my money, or are they actually purchasing something? Obviously, my end goal is for people to make purchases. I'm probably going to end up spending a decent amount of money learning some hard lessons here, but whatever, that's the name of the game. I can't really avoid that. I only set it up a few days ago, so it's going to take probably a couple of weeks to know what's exactly going on in terms of results, but we'll see. Hopefully the result is a lot of people see the ads, a lot of people click the ads, and a decent amount of people make purchases. I'm not expecting a lot of people to make purchases by any stretch of the imagination. I think this is going to be an incremental walk towards success, and hopefully there is a little bit that trickles in where I see, oh, it's resonating with some people, right? That's the ultimate goal of an ad, and that's the ultimate goal for me trying to build revenue. So to sum up the past 1 or 2 weeks, perfectionism is absolutely a trap, and I'm slightly proud of myself for avoiding it. I could have optimized the Google Ads campaign, but questioning whether or not that was the right fit, I think was the right call. Entrepreneurship rewards good is good enough way more than it rewards perfectionism, and hopefully this is an instance where I'm benefiting from that. We'll see over the next couple of weeks if the meta gamble pays off. I'm hoping that it does. My gut is telling me yes, but also I'm a little bit biased in this, so stay tuned and we'll see. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Do all that stuff. Leave a comment if you want, and I'll absolutely try to answer. I'm very much interested in having conversations with people about this, so stay tuned.